Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to break down the world of data backup. Choosing the right strategy isn't just some tiny technical detail. It can literally be the difference between a minor headache and a total catastrophe. So let's get right into it.
First things first, let's talk about what's really at stake here. Your data, whether it's for a huge business or just your personal photos, is under constant threat. We're talking about nasty ransomware attacks that can lock up everything you own, physical disasters like floods or fires, or even just the simple fact that, hardware fails. It just does. So yeah, knowing you need a backup is step one. But picking the right strategy, that's what decides if getting your data back is a quick fix or totally impossible.
So to tackle this problem, we've got to start with the most basic, most intuitive solution out there. It's called a full backup.
I want you to think of it like this. It's like photocopying an entire library, page by page, every single day. Doesn't matter if it's Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday, you're making a complete, 100% perfect copy of everything. It's a total brute force approach, right? A perfect clone, made from scratch every single time.
Now, this is where it gets interesting, because there's a major trade-off. On the one hand, you get this beautiful, simple reliability. Restoring a file is super easy. You just grab it from the complete copy. But on the other hand, it is incredibly slow. And man, is it expensive when it comes to storage. Just imagine the cost of storing a brand new copy of that entire library day after day after day.
So that obvious inefficiency of a full backup got people thinking there has to be a smarter way to do this. And that search for a better solution brings us to our next major strategy, the incremental backup. Okay, so instead of copying the whole library again, the incremental method is way more clever. You start with one full backup on, say, Sunday. Then on Monday, it only records what's new or what's changed. Same thing for Tuesday. This saves a ton of space and time when you're actually doing the backup, because you're just grabbing those little tiny changes. But here's the catch, and trust me, it is a big one. To restore your data, you need that original full backup, plus every single little incremental link in the chain. And as you can see here, if just one of those links gets corrupted or goes missing, like Inc. 3 right there, the whole recovery can just fall apart. Everything that came after that broken link, it's gone.
So here's the bottom line. While it's super efficient for your day-to-day backups, it introduces a pretty scary risk right at the moment you need your data most, during recovery. You're basically trading daily convenience for some serious fragility down the line.
Well, that hidden weakness naturally leads to the next step in this story. Is there some way to get the safety of a full backup, but with the speed of an incremental one? Well, that brings us to the differential backup. A differential backup also starts with a full one. But then, each backup after that copies all the changes made since that last full backup. So Monday's backup is pretty small, but Tuesday's backup has both Monday's changes and Tuesday's. Now this is safer because you only need two files to restore, the original full and the latest differential file. But as you can probably see, your storage costs just snowball over time.
Okay, so what have we seen so far? It's this constant battle, right? A tug of war between speed, cost, and safety. Full is safe, but it's slow and expensive. Incremental is fast and cheap, but it's risky. Differential is a bit safer, but it gets pretty pricey. So that poses a really, really important question.
Is it actually possible to solve this puzzle? Can we get the quick, lightweight backups of an incremental, but with the bulletproof safety of a full one?
In this right here, this is the modern solution. It's called a synthetic full backup, and it's pretty brilliant. Here's how it works. From your computer, you just send a small, fast, incremental style backup. But then on the server, the system is smart enough to merge that small change with the previous backup, and it builds a brand new, completely up-to-date full backup, all without you having to upload the whole thing.
This is basically a breakthrough. It gives you the best of everything. You get the small, fast uploads of an incremental, but because there's a new full backup ready and waiting on the server, you get the rock-solid single-file restore speed of a full backup. And most importantly, it gets rid of that dangerous daisy chain risk we talked about.
All right, so we've met all the major players in the backup game. Let's wrap things up and see how all of this helps you make a clear decision.
This is such a great way to see it all side by side. Full backups, simple but huge. Incrementals are tiny, but you can see that long, risky chain they create. And with differential, you can really see that snowball effect in action, with the backup getting bigger and more expensive every single day.
This chart really just lays it all out, doesn't it? Full is slow to back up, incremental is slow and risky to restore.
Differential gets expensive fast, but then you look at that last row? Synthetic full just hits that perfect sweet spot. Fast backup, fast restore, and a low storage cost. For most situations, it's the clear winner.
But hey, just knowing what's best on paper isn't the whole story. Picking the right strategy really depends on your specific needs, your budget, and exactly what kind of data you're trying to protect. This is a fantastic little guide. If your number one priority is the absolute lowest budget, then yeah, you can stick with incrementals, but you have to run full backups pretty often to keep that chain risk low. If you need the fastest possible recovery, no questions asked, synthetic full is your answer. And if you're dealing with big, heavy databases, the differential model's actually a really strong choice for data integrity.
At the end of the day, here's the real takeaway. Being smart about how you protect your data isn't just a technical thing. In our digital world, you are literally securing your business, your memories, your future. So we'll leave you with this final thought. We've gone through the options, the pros, the cons, and the modern solutions. Now the only question left is the one that matters most. How are you going to protect your digital life? Thanks for watching.